So I bet you think this is going to be another one of those videos where I go off on a whole rant. First of all, addressing that video I posted, it was a social experiment to see how people who defend Disney react to being attacked. And I will say there is genuine criticism of the fandom as a whole. They're, how do I say this properly? The toxicity of a fandom is minute. It is a small thing, and those people are wrong. But then you have to learn to separate the deconstructive criticism to the constructive criticism. This video is all about the pros and cons of Acolyte, and how I really feel about the show. I did enjoy it, but there were a lot of things about Acolyte I did not enjoy. And I'm going to list them all. After rewatching it, I decided to point out some of the pros and cons of this series. And I genuinely hope that from this video, the writers will learn to improve. This is why criticism needs to be listened to by the writers, as it can help improve your product in the future. But anyways, here we go. The choreography was some of the best since the Old Republic cinematics. I mean, whoever was in charge of the choreography for Acolyte, keep doing it. I actually genuinely enjoyed it. I really did not like the choreography. I wouldn't even call it what they had in the sequels choreography. It wasn't really choreography. It's just a bunch of plebs waving their lightsabers around like they're bats. And I'm like, where's the refinement? Where's the poise? I mean, Luke, did you teach these people anything about choreography? Jesus Christ. And I will say the costume design went hard in Acolyte. The costume design was amazing. I love the practical effects, and I mean, come on. The Jedi were dripped out, and the Stranger's design goes incredibly hard. I mean, the helmet was great. The concept of the Acolyte as a whole was good, the Sith, killing Jedi way before they reveal themselves, and wiping out all witnesses. Like, I like that concept. I mean, the Jedi being arrogant, yeah, that's pretty on par, isn't to believe. I mean, look at Episode 1. They refused to believe the Sith had returned until they were shown the Sith had returned. But there were some writing decisions that did fall flat. Like, for example, the Stranger being Plagueis' apprentice, revealed by the writer after the show aired, which is just like, I wouldn't have done that. I would have had Stranger be a dark Jedi, as it's heavily implied in the final episode. I would have had it be so that he would have been a dark Jedi pretending to be Sith, much like Darth Krayt was for the one Sith, as the ancient Sith had regarded him as a pretender, because of his views on balance. As well as the whole Soul business. Soul was, I don't even know what the hell he was. I don't even consider him a Jedi at this point, because what the hell was he even doing? And watch the show, you'll know what I'm talking about. Imelda Stenberg, who is the actor for Ocean May, her acting was a little wooden at times, to put it lightly. In scenes where anger is portrayed, it is not. She is not portraying emotion that well. She needs to take a whole course to learn how to portray emotion. It's so frustrating because where a character should express their feelings, but she falls flat. And it's just so frustrating to watch her character just stare blank-faced when there's a huge moment of just, and I don't know if this is like her acting or the director's directing, because the director's supposed to direct what emotion should be portrayed. And it's so frustrating when an actor is not portraying the appropriate emotion for the present scene. The Jedi being too arrogant to believe the Sith have returned is on par, because that's how they were in the prequels. But to pin all the deaths solely, get it, on Master Soul was foolish, both in-universe and out-of-universe. I'm going to say it, they wrote themselves into a hole. They had the Stranger slaughter over 10 Jedi Masters and Knights. And the Jedi thought, oh, It must have been Sol. I mean, he did slaughter the whole Brendok coven, but the problem with that is there were masters in that group, and it's just so frustrating. It's frustrating to watch this. Like, how can you? And I mean, the green girl. I forgot the green girl's name. The Mirlon. I forgot her name, but she saw the stranger. She could have just said, "Yeah, it might be my possible former apprentice who is now a Sith." But no, she just said, "Oh, it was a rogue dark Jedi soul," and I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about? That's not even remotely true." And that's so frustrating. Speaking of Soul, when he slaughtered the Brendok Coven and blamed it on a child, that is the most dark side decision I have seen since Anakin slaughtering younglings, which is now a massive fucking meme now. And, well, yes, in the expanded universe, the Jedi did genocide the Sith pureblood species and the Bouncers of Rusin. But slaughtering Coven for the actions of one is way too extreme to blame it on a child. That is definitely not the Jedi. I don't know why? What was even the point? Why would you do that? Why would you slaughter a whole covenant and blame it on a child? At least Jedi take responsibility. You know, they also threw away so many good characters. Like, ignore the sounds that are coming from my PC. My PC is, like, messy right now. But then there's characters like, Klanaka, the Wookiee Jedi. He was a badass, and then just to throw him away like that was just like, at least give him a good fight. Don't kill him off screen. And I get that a lot of the Jedi took a bearish vow because they were ashamed of what they did to Brendok. I don't blame them. But to have them killed in such an unceremonious way is ridiculous. The Stranger, in my opinion, was the best part of Acolyte. His Jarkai fighting style, his outfit, and I'm going to admit, I had a crush on him, especially after that one scene where he's stripped naked. I'm telling you, my face turned red. But the writer saying he's the apprentice of Plagueis, rather than a Dark Jedi pretending to be Sith, not a good idea. Because, last I checked, Plagueis had only one apprentice, which was Palpatine. You could say Venomous, but Venomous is more like a rival than... oh, for God's sake. So many writing decisions I disagree with. In my opinion, the guy who wrote the Darth Plagueis novel should write Season 2 of Acolyte, if there ever is a Season 2. That's my opinion. And also, speaking of writing, we're going to address some of the comments of the writer. Let me look up her name real quick. I forgot her name. I didn't write a script, by the way. Leslie Headland. Leslie said some things out of the universe that were just hurting her own show. She said controversial things like, she blamed the entire fandom as a whole, which is something my video parodied. My video was more parodying, honestly. Yes, there are toxic fans out there who hate no matter what, even going as far as to leave an episode with a negative review before it even airs, which I think is a weird, stupid fucking concept. But the writer's comments she made were so ridiculous and unacceptable. To put all the blame for Acolyte failing completely on the ridiculous and not taking any personal responsibility. She called Sol sexist, and I'm like, excuse me, how is he sexist? Please explain to me how Sol is sexist. I'm watching this, I'm watching Acolyte. I did not get that impression of at all. I did not get that impression. Last I checked, the Jedi are not sexist. They're not. Hell, there are instances where the Sith are sexist, but that's because they're the Sith. They believe so. I mean, I played the Old Republic. Some of them may have made comments about women, but that's different. But I saw him as a flawed father figure and a liar who made severe mistake and regret. But a sexist? A sexist. No, I did not get that impression at all from Master Soul. Perhaps Acolyte needs a new writer. Like I said, the person who wrote the Darth Plagueis novel comes to mind when I think of somebody who can write Darth Plagueis very well. I do not agree with the writing decision to make Soul sexist. I genuinely hope the creators for a possible Season 2 learn from the criticism and make it better than Season 1. That being said, I still enjoyed the show as it was a mixture of brilliant lightsaber choreography and great philosophy. That is my true opinion of Star Wars Acolyte. But this is just coming from somebody who's a big fan of the EU. I love the expanded universe. I love Darth Plagueis. I love the Sith. So, I'm honestly, before anyone says I'm a Disney Star Wars fan, I'm really not. I honestly preferred it before Disney bought. I grew up with the expanded universe. I grew up reading those comics. I grew up playing those games. I played Knights of the Old Republic at a very young age. And Disney is, I think the best part, the only good part about Disney Star Wars, I will say, is the Jedi Survivor stuff. Which is genuinely good in my opinion. I loved Cal Kestis. Also, I do love the Disney Star Wars comics. They're not as good as Dark Horse's comics though, but that's just my opinion. Again, I am more partial to the expanded universe than Disney Star Wars, but that's just my opinion. Anyways, this has been Mad Madam Marple with my true opinion on Acolyte. Signing off. Have a good day. Bye.